בוא נסתכל שנייה. תרקון קדימה. Hi everybody! Hi Tamar! Welcome to another Q&A! So let's start right off with Ma LC from Facebook. She knows this question is coming. She really wanted it to be included, and it is.
Hi Ma!
I'm sure she heard that one before,
Yeah.
come to think of it. Okay, she would like to know what we guys think of the role that the Faceless Men will play against the White Walkers, and she says she loves our shoes.
Oh, thanks.
I'm not wearing any shoes. Are you wearing shoes? Incredible shoes, Itamar.
Yeah.
I love your shoes.
They are incredible. They cost me a lot of money.
Okay, so what do you think?
Thanks, patrons.
Okay, so what role do you think the Faceless Men will play against the war in the north?
Against the White Walkers.
Against the White Walkers, what weapons do they have? Do they have Illyrian steel?
I think they can get their hands on some, dragon glass or whatever. But I see them playing more of a role against the dragons, maybe. Because the Bravosi connection.
What's the Bravosi connection? Like, okay.
Like they're descendants from the escaped slaves, from the Valyrian mines.
Dragons, right.
Yeah, and they're like freedom, and dragons is enslavement. And they see the dragons awake, they don't read Daenerys' mind and say, oh no, her intentions are good. No, the dragons are bad.
Right, this is like their historical memory is when you see a dragon, there's like a flashy neon sign. Like enslavement is coming back.
Exactly, it's in their DNA.
Never again. Now they have the money, they have the connections, they control everything behind the scenes. They're sitting there with their yarmulkes and their...
According to foreign press, they have nuclear weapon as well. That's an inside joke.
Call me our Israeli viewers.
So obviously they have vested interest regarding the dragons,
What is their interest? You think to destroy the dragons?
I don't know.
Okay.
Knowledge is power, especially if you are running a sort of a clandestine secret society of assassins. You have to know a lot. You have to know the connections. You have to know the weaknesses and whatever. So I suspect they're,
And the Macers, they're natural allies. Yeah. They both want no dragons. Yeah. Want to spread knowledge. Yeah. And they have like the same values, I guess, of openness and curiosity and learning about the world. Yeah. It's kind of a Bravosi thing also. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to Tomasz Yarsun. Do you think that he will end the story with Westeros being a democracy without a king or a queen?
No, I don't.
Like a proper democracy?
What is a proper democracy?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, no, I don't see that. I don't see. On the contrary, I mean, I think it will be more centralized. There are a lot of foreshadowing there that says practically the people are not ready for democracy. I mean, democracy is not only a system of government; it's also a culture.
Right.
And it's not in anyone's culture to be like the wise consumer that. Right. Reads the news,
messages,
and reads the news, and it's getting invested in the.
Right. I didn't vote for you.
Exactly. You don't have this pride of I'm aristocracy. You won't subjugate me and stuff like that. Not necessarily.
It takes time.
It takes a lot of time, and you see the mob there is really, they're uncontrollable. So democracy in that sense would lead to anarchy. I do see a change in the system of government. In the sense that the ruling class, the nobles, the aristocrats, will lose a lot of their power, and there will be a more inclusion, in the way that maybe a parliament that will represent, some kind of, balance of power and checks and balances, to the ruler.
Right, like maybe you'll have like 3 classes, like with certain privileges. Yeah. Okay, and they will do that, as we've seen throughout history, in order to survive. Yeah. Because they will not want all this warring to continue. So okay, let's placate the people.
Yeah.
And in 400 years they'll chop our heads off, and then there'll be.
Yeah. And if you go to history, the Magna Carta, which is considered like the first step towards a nation ruled by laws, and nobody is above the law, and you need to share the power. The king shared it with the aristocrats. He didn't share them with the people.
Okay, let's go to Karl the First, not to be mistaken with Karl the Second.
Karl 12.
Karl 12. Do you feel that Martin is a great writer and D&D, Dan and Dave botched the adaptation, or is the he versus they jokes are just that, jokes?
They're jokes that are founded and grounded in reality. I don't think they botched it necessarily.
But they could have done a better job.
They could have done a much better job. I have a very clear sense and feeling that he's kind of disappointed of them.
And he feels that they didn't follow through with his vision, maybe like changed course.
Yeah, the adaptation in the first 4 seasons was, I think, great.
Especially the first season.
And, you can see the results. I mean, it's a cultural phenomenon.
Right.
Unlike anything since The Sopranos, at least,
More so, I would say.
Much more than The Sopranos. And
right, and now it's carrying on the momentum that started in those first 4 seasons.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of complicated. They didn't botch it, but I don't think they get the story, or at least I don't think they read the story the same way we read it.
Right.
Like it's a more,
political
story and social story.
Right. Historical story with all the trends and forces of the time.
And a disdain towards like the ultimate hero, the chosen one, and stuff like that.
Right.
There is a disdain in that.
Right, and in the show not so much. They're kind of going against the grain in that sense, especially with Jon.
Jon and Daenerys, they're like bigger than life figures.
Right.
You can't really see their inner thoughts and struggles, and you can't really see the heart at war against itself, like George R. R. Martin likes to quote Faulkner. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Hassan Hayam. Hello, Hassan, a patron, dear patron. So, given the current political developments around the globe, which ones of these developments do you think have most similarities with the stories and/or plots in Game of Thrones? And we talked about it, like mainly the refugees coming out from the Middle East and from Africa to Europe, kind of mirrors the refugees coming from the north, the wildlings crossing the wall.
Also the refugees from the south that were displaced because of the fighting between the lords.
Right, this is actually even more similar to the Syrian refugee crisis.
I think you can definitely say the biggest problem right now that affects every facet of Western politics. We don't really see it here in Israel. We have other problems, but in Europe and the United States, the immigration problem, the refugee problem.
Right.
I read some stat from the UN that from 2005, so you can add a few millions to that. Like 190 million people are now in a status of immigrants.
190 million?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying 19 million.
No, 190 million people are now in a status of being displaced or immigrants, refugees. And there is no really a happy immigration.
And this trend is not going anywhere, I guess.
No, that was before the so-called Arab Spring. So we can add a few millions to that.
I think it touches on something very, very human.
Yeah.
Like a fear of the unknown, of the other, wanting to maintain your culture. Like we were programmed to have a small community, and you would never have like a mass immigration that would try to assimilate and then maybe change the culture. This is something that happened only much later in history when we started to live in bigger groups. So I guess that's a problem that's not going away because it touches like a very raw nerve that people immediately react. Say, "Oh, no, I want to keep the world as it is, as I know it."
It's a trend that will only
be
exacerbated, and also in relation to Game of Thrones, a lot of it is because of climate change. A lot of it is something that is out of our hand, and we just see the results of it. And only in retrospect we can say, "Oh, it's because of droughts here and droughts there." So that causes civil war and resource wars and stuff like that.
And you have all kinds of houses that are each working as if this is a zero-sum game. Now this was on top, now this was on top, and nobody's paying attention to the Great War coming.
Wildlings are coming, and
they have a different idea of how to do stuff.
Yeah, and that's a very big problem. It will have to be addressed, and it will be addressed after the catastrophe.
That is inevitable.
And in the story too.
Okay, Gio Gukevi, I think he's Italian, I guess, and Hassan, he's from Turkey. If you say where you're from, bonus points, bonus points. Okay, so Gio wants to know, hey, my favorite YouTube stars. We're stars. Already we have 15,000 views. This is a star. This is star power. A question for the upcoming tournament. What is your preferred national cuisines and why? Thanks. And he's Italian, so I'm guessing he wants us to say Italian, but I would have to say Indian cuisine.
Indian, yeah.
Yeah, you agree?
Indian and Middle Eastern.
Okay, so Indian cuisine, the rice, right, the chapati and all the sauce stuff.
Yeah, the curry, malai kofta, palak paneer.
And we've been to India, you've been 4 times, right?
3 times.
3 times, I've been twice, and we want to go back. And awesome food. Awesome food.
Yeah, really good food. And also the
Middle Eastern
food.
Hummus,
yeah, it's what
tahini,
salad,
fresh vegetables,
baba
fresh
ganoush,
salads.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Okay, Jinzo wants to know what we think of the PewDiePie situation, the thing with the anti-Semitic jokes and the media calling him a Nazi. So PewDiePie, he's like the most popular YouTuber ever, I think, number one.
Like 55 million subscribers.
Okay, we have 55,000, so just like 2 zeros, whatever. What are 2 zeros?
3 zeros, I think.
1 0 is 3 zeros. Okay, so 3 zeros. Okay. So he told on his channel like a few anti-Semitic jokes, and then people said that he's anti-Semitic and a Nazi, and he got dropped like from all these corporate whatever corporations and don't want to be associated, Disney whatever, with this kind of
which
rhetoric.
is kind of a victory for us because Disney was an anti-Semitic, they say.
Anti-Semite?
Okay, so what do you think about it?
I don't think he's. I absolve him of the anti-Semitism.
Why?
PewDiePie, please give us a shout out.
So why?
I don't think he's anti-Semitic. I think.
I think he kind of is.
No, I don't think it's anti-Semitic. I think it's
He's not a Nazi, okay? He's not like an anti-Semitic, like reading Mein Kampf every day, just like really believing. No, he's like a casual. It's like fair weather fans. So he's like fair weather anti-Semitic. It's like kind of has these ideas that he hasn't really thought about, and he's just like making light of it.
No, I don't think so. I think his fault is that he's making light of it. I think he crossed the line, definitely. And
you think he crossed the line?
Yeah, he crossed the line. He crossed the line, and I think it says something about today's, I would say
youth
culture. I don't know, the millennial generation, that maybe anti-Semitism and the memory of the Holocaust and the memory of the Nazis is not that ingrained in their don't do it.
Like they have like they know not to say anything racist towards black people.
Yeah.
But to say racist stuff about Jews, maybe it's not. Yeah. They're not as careful.
Yeah. I refuse to believe that he's anti-Semitic in any sense. I think it's just
it's just racist.
Yeah, he told a bad joke, and he paid a price for it. And
he doubled down, tripled down.
Yeah, but that's not because he hates the Jews. Because he likes to see him now as like this champion of free speech. And obviously it works better if you're now the victim that they did something bad towards you, the Jews, whatever.
Okay, so we are public figures, like we're there, we're out there, and people know that we're Jewish. And we started last year getting more and more comments, like really anti-Semitic comments or vaguely anti-Semitic comments.
Yeah, I think really
this is something that really exists.
Yeah, it exists. It's I don't know
I don't care about being Jewish, but a lot of people watching our videos, they care about it.
Yeah, I don't know how alarmed we should be. I don't think we should be alarmed, but I think it is something with millennials that. And I can see that with the Israeli youth as well. They're very racist. They're much more racist towards Muslims and Arabs, unfortunately, than our generation was.
Right.
I mean,
and the previous generation even less
was
when they were young.
I mean, of course, everyone in some sense is like a racist or whatever,
right.
you know, has like xenophobia and
right.
whatever, but the way you present yourself and the words you choose to say publicly, our generation, the millennial Israeli generation, is very much
right.
Unashamed, unabashed with its racism.
I think maybe PewDiePie, he didn't realize the difference between making jokes in your own living room and posting it to the world. We can make like the most racist jokes ever, but when you post it as a video, it means something else than what you maybe intended. I don't know, because it's out there. It's as if you have a microphone and you're making this joke about Jews. It resonates differently. Like the medium is the message, it's a different medium.
Yeah. Careless to think that you won't have any consequences, you know, because
he lost a lot of money.
PewDiePie, the Jews control the world. Don't mess with us!
This is why our channel is so big. This is why we're YouTube stars! Okay, so, Alexandros wants to know, who are your favorite philosophers? For me, it's Buddha.
Buddha.
Buddha, I think like learning a lot about Buddhism at school, university, really like changed the way I look, absorb, and deal with day-to-day life. It was really useful. I found it really, really useful. Being happier. And like letting go of shit that is not important and accepting my own mortality and that kind of shit. Yeah, I recommend it, definitely.
I have a soft spot for two philosophers. One of them is Nietzsche. Not because necessarily I agree with what he has to say.
So why?
I like his, you know, his creativity and his genius and his plays with words and how he explains stuff. And in terms of you read Nietzsche and you feel your brain is stimulated all the time, like, oh, I didn't think about that, and oh, it's true, it's true, true. Like it shapes you in a way.
Okay. It challenges you.
It challenges you a lot, and it's very easy to, you know, get into it.
Okay. And who's the second one?
The second is Spinoza, because of his life story.
Not Plato?
No. I like Plato, but yeah.
Spinoza, why Spinoza?
Spinoza also because his life story is like, he was in Amsterdam, he was a Jew, and he was practically the first atheist, sort of, you know, secular. He wasn't really an atheist, he talked about God, but his God is like the atheist God, you know.
Right,
he's
like Bernie Sanders' God.
Exactly, this pantheistic, all-encompassing, everywhere, all-connected God. And in a way, he was a Buddhist, you know, even though he was in 17th century North Europe. And I love his book about the Bible, it was the first Bible critique, the political, theological treatise he wrote about the Bible. And it's great, it's funny, he had a great sense of humor, and he was very brave. He was excommunicated from the Jewish community, which is, in terms of, like today, it's being like deported from your country or something like that.
Right, in terms of the identity back then,
exactly.
how important it was
and
to be part of the
he had a lot of Christian friends, and they offered him, okay, so just become a Christian and, you know, you get the rights of a Christian. He said, no, I don't really need it. And I really like him. He has the good eyes.
Okay, so let's go to Heike on tour from Twitter. Hi, Heike. In the end, will the Starks still be the good ones, or we just thrown into their own point of view? And Heike is from Münster, Germany. Münster is kind of famous, Münster.
Yeah.
So are they really the good guys? They're still the good guys now, like on the show. I'm not sure what, like they're still victims, still.
Yeah.
Of course, there's good and bad in every war ever fought.
Yeah, every conqueror in history has good reasons, you know. The moral ambiguity of the story is very present, you know.
Right.
And we made a video about Daenerys becoming a villain, and, you know, a total shift of point of view.
And about the Starks becoming villains and maybe committing a second Red Wedding.
Yeah, I think it works story-wise.
That they will flip and become and do something evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that.
To muddy the water a little bit, because they can't be the only side that's just.
Yeah, no.
And good.
No, I don't.
Because now they're gonna beat the White Walkers, so they have to do something shady, something evil to make it interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, so Joseph Herons from New York City, my favorite city in the world. Maggie the Frog told Cersei, and when your tears have drowned you, the Volonkar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life out of you. He says everyone seems to think it's Jamie, but Jamie only has one hand. So how can he wrap his hands around her neck if he only has one hand?
You can still do that.
Like with the golden hand?
Like that, and then...
Yeah, but is it like really wrapping? I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah, I don't think it's Jamie. I never thought it was Jamie. I mean, first you think it's Jamie.
Right, you say, okay, she thinks it's Syrian, obviously it's Jamie, but yeah.
But...
So who would it be?
Euron, Arya, Tyrion.
Tyrion again. Next question from Marcus Shera. What do you think that Lord of the Rings does better than Game of Thrones? And we'll talk about the books, not the adaptations.
Nothing. Really nothing.
Come on!
With all due respect, much respect. For Lord of the Rings, I don't know, it's in terms of...
I think the language is better, it flows better. A lot of stuff that you read is just so beautiful. It's like Theo said, we're doing the Lord of the Rings videos together. It's literally stunning. Like you're reading something, you're like, you feel like the energy, so much energy in there, and so epic. It's more epic than A Song of Ice and Fire in terms of the words and the language, not the world necessarily.
Yeah.
He does more with less.
Okay. I get that, but still, I'm.
Okay. So if you want to watch our Lord of the Rings videos, here is the Rings versus the Dragons. Watch this one. And last question from Tomasz David. Interesting name. Where are you from, Tomasz? What is your dream job? Your dream job.
I never thought about it, actually. Maybe an astronaut.
Okay. I guess, first of all, for me, a dream job is a job that just like allows me to live my life the best way I want to and I can.
Obviously.
So it's not like a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. Even if it's something interesting, it has to allow, if it's a dream job, to allow a lifestyle where you can travel a lot and you can do stuff you like and work with people you like. So this is why this is my dream job. This is my dream job. This is why we have Patreon. So we can get patrons to support our channel, and then we can make this a full-time gig by the end of this year, hopefully. And I don't know, just like thinking about stories, books, movies, TV shows, talking about them, politics, history, being goofy on screen.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I actually...
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. Being a teacher actually is a dream job.
Okay.
It is, actually.
Why?
Well, I just like it, I like spreading knowledge.
You're spreading knowledge here?
Yeah, it's like being a teacher.
But you maybe you want to get the immediate response?
Yeah, I like that. So if you want to help Gil reach his dream job, we're working hard.
We are.
We give you a lot of content,
We do.
And, we put a lot of efforts in it.
We do.
And we share it free. You get it for free. But if you feel something here,
like guilt,
like conscious, something like it's eating you up instead of just $2. Just $2. It's just one coffee in Starbucks. You drink coffee in Starbucks, yeah. Unfortunately, one cup of Starbucks a month, and you can watch all of our extra content, a lot of videos,
right?
About the different topics,
right?
More like personal,
more intimate,
more
in depth.
Yeah, more in depth, longer,
right?
And same style, same quality. Nothing is taken for granted there.
Right. It's just more chill, more relaxed.
And you get the chance to speak with us every once in a while.
Right. Also,
during the upcoming season, it will pay a lot.
Okay,
we're going to discuss that towards the season.
Okay, so thanks for watching, and subscribe to get all our videos, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody!